I'd like to take a few moments out to share my thoughts with you on what I believe is a very important matter. And that is, how do you know? How are you able to spot the real one from early? And I'm gonna put it in the context of what I would say to my younger self concerning the issue of marriage. And to be honest with you, I want to make this a series where I talk about what I would say to my younger self on various topics. But for this video, we're going to talk about on the question of marriage. How do you know that this particular person is the type of person who would stick around with you into your 90s, together into your 90s, your 80s? If you're interested in that topic, stay tuned. Welcome back. This is Angie Marie and this is my YouTube channel, The Simple Secrets of a Happy Life. So let's zoom straight into the topic today, and I'm gonna start out with a story. I was about 18 years old and met my first love, my first relationship. We were in the church. To be honest, it was not sexual. We really did everything to stick with our understanding of the rules of the church and the principles of the Bible. So it was a very caring young man. I was in high school at the time and didn't really know much about love. But looking back over the years, I see a particular quality that I believe is the most important quality in a life partner, a partner that you can count on to be with you if you want to be with someone till death do you part. That is someone who is self-sacrificial. I'll start out with what I believe is the most important of the three characteristics that we need to look for, or the three characteristics I would look for. I was speaking to my younger self about what really matters, how to spot the real person, how to know that this is a keeper, this is someone who would stick around with you even to your 80s and your 90s, or even till 100 if life allows both of you to be still on this earth. Here is the first characteristic: self-sacrifice. Self-sacrifice. If you have been or are with someone who would make sure you are safe first, they would drive or fly for hours, ensure you're settled, you or those they love are protected, you're safely on the inside, you're settled, and then they take the lonely road all the way back. Could be for hours, could be hours driving or walking or flying, after making sure you're okay. That is what I call true love. That is what I call self-sacrifice. We live in a time when a lot of people are focused on me, on themselves. Oh, we're gonna do some selfies. Oh, self-care. Oh, I'm gonna protect myself. Oh, we're in self mode. And sometimes it gets to the point where it's really selfish mode, where it's really selfish care, because too many people cannot or do not think about anyone else except themselves. If you find a gentleman who is willing to do what I shared with you, you've found a keeper. Now, I remember this young man, like I said, in my own experience, after church, every night, every time we had church, this young man would walk, take the bus with me, before he had his own vehicle. Back then, take the bus with me a long distance, made sure I was settled inside, door locked, light on. Then he would leave, walk, take his bus, find his way home. I'm telling you this, if you find someone like that who is very protective of you, keep that. It's really not easy to find this quality. So if you're listening to me, pay close attention. If you have been or are with someone who will make sure you get yourself situated, the person could be going through some deep emotional, mental pain in doing so, but they made sure to situate you. And after they got you situated, they traveled across miles, maybe hours, to get back. In a lonely state, they traveled alone back to wherever they are or they live or where they're staying, after making sure that you or the people they care most about are okay. I'm telling you the truth, that is the number one quality that you need in a mate. Someone who is self-sacrificial. In other words, we're not saying the person is perfect, but they're willing to put aside their own comfort, their own fears, their finances maybe, just to make sure that you are okay first. That is a keeper. And I'm not putting any particular gender on it, because this could be a woman who would fly across, take a flight. You were probably not very well, or for whatever reason, they took a flight to make sure you were okay. And at the end of that flight, she flew back to where she belonged after making sure you were situated. That is rare. That is what I call someone who is self-sacrificial. It is very rare. You do not find this quality very often these days. And I'd say if you are looking for someone who you want to spend the rest of your life with, where there's not that instability, this moment you're married for a few years and then it ends up in divorce and the person is looking for someone else and they move on. No, if you're looking for stability, for a relationship, for someone who is a keeper, who will stick it through with you through thick or thin, look for that quality. Secondly, they overlook your faults. No, it's not that you do not have faults. We all do. We all have faults. But this particular individual appears as if they do not see it. Why does it seem so? They're busy focused on your strengths. They see the business acumen in you. They see loyalty. They see strength. They see that you're a woman of good character. And that is what they focus on. Not that you have some pimples on your face or not a typical Instagram model that's made up just for the camera. No, they're focused on who you are on the inside. When you meet someone, when you find a person who is able to overlook what you or other people see as flaws and focus on your strengths instead and build up those strengths, you have a keeper. You have someone who's going to stick with you into your 80s, into your 90s. Do not take it lightly. Do not. You treat that person as a gem. And as I said before, it doesn't matter the gender. It could be male or female. Number 3, the person whose word is their bond. Somebody who, when they speak and they say, I'll be there at 5 or I'll be there at 7, you know you look out for them at 5 or 7. And if they're running late, they're going to contact you to say, hey, I got stuck in traffic, or this is what is happening. That is what we call integrity. The person like that who keeps their word for smaller things will also keep their word when they go before the altar and say, promise you with a vow for better or for worse until death do us part. They will mean it. But the one who is always making excuses, they tell you they'll be there at 7 and sometimes they don't even show up. No integrity. Their word means nothing. What do you want with someone like that? So I would tell my younger self, listen, stick with that one whose word is his bond. He has integrity. He is loyal. I can trust him with my life. He's not the type who is going to be cheating. He's not the type who is going to make me feel small among other women. Let's say on social media, for instance. I'm not going to do that to you, because he's a man or she's a woman of integrity. It's not about the charm or the beauty, because charm is fleeting, beauty will fade. But someone who has integrity will stick through with you. I also believe, as someone who of faith, I believe that the foundation should be someone who fears God, because for you to be able to meet these criteria, you need to have an innate fear for God, a fear of God. It's not going to just be, because that's how you are. Because of your spiritual beliefs and your upbringing. It's because of this person's spiritual beliefs and their upbringing. And I'd like to close this out by saying something to someone. Maybe you are going through something right now. Maybe someone has disappointed you. Maybe someone that you've done these things for and to has let you down and walked away from you. Let me tell you something. You are a prize. You are a gem. If someone is too foolish to see these strengths and to see just how great of a person you are, you don't need them in your life in the first place. Allow them time to come to their senses, to realize what they had in you. Do not chase after them, okay? You continue to build on yourself and let's see what happens. I'd be happy to hear your comments. Please feel free to share your comments with me. If I were to speak to my younger self regarding the one from early, how to spot the real one, how to spot that one who's going to be with you into your 80s and 90s and older. Self-sacrifice. Secondly, overlook your faults. It's not that you're super awesome and perfect. There's no perfect person, but they're overlooking your faults because they see your strengths more than the faults. And 3, their word is their bond. Someone who has integrity, someone who is loyal, someone who will not hurt you, someone who, when they make a promise to you at the altar, a vow, for better or for worse, till death, they mean it. Integrity. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. This is Angie Marie, and I'll see you soon.